Hi, my name is Marck Joseph and I'm a South Florida family law attorney. And you're here to find out 5 benefits to an uncontested divorce. For those who may not be familiar, a divorce can be done in 2 particular ways. It can be done contested, in other words, there's some issues or fighting or something that the courts will have to navigate within the divorce proceeding, or it can be uncontested, where even though you have to file the case with the court, you and the other party have already figured out all the issues, and you just need the court to essentially review it, make sure everything is fine, and grant the divorce. But before we continue, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified of any new videos we post. The first benefit to an uncontested divorce is the stress, or lack thereof. In my experience, uncontested divorces are the way to go. Whether it's just you and the partner needing to divorce, whether you have assets, debts, if alimony is going to be awarded, if you have children, child support, it's just the lesser stressful way to navigate the divorce process. While in a contested case, you have to file your petition, you serve the other person, they have to respond, possibly file a counter petition, then you go through the discovery, exchange of financials, potential depositions, things like that. In an uncontested case, you've already figured that out. You've at some point either already exchanged each person's financial, or you guys already know your financial picture. You guys have already discussed what's going to happen with the child or children. You guys might have even discussed what you're going to need in terms of child support or alimony, in that despite the courts having some regulation as to how you navigate child support, you guys both know what it is you want out of it. Therefore, you don't have any of the fighting or issues. And when it's presented to the court, whether by yourselves or through an attorney, all this stuff's already hashed out and it becomes a more flowing process. Just flat out, the straightforward way is the least stressful way. And although I do feel that there is no stressless way to go through the divorce, this is definitely one of the ways that allow you to better sleep at night. Another benefit of doing your divorce as an uncontested case is the cost. 10 out of 10 times, a contested case is going to cost more than an uncontested case for a few reasons. One, if you're doing the case contested, the more issues that come up, the higher likelihood you're going to need to be in court more. If you have a lawyer, it's going to be a higher retainer, and just the time and energy related to that case is going to be so much more. Now, with an uncontested case, not only is everything more streamlined, you can have your lawyer potentially handle it on a flat fee basis. Sometimes they still do it as a regular retainer. However, because the issues are less and a lot of it's already figured out, the process is normally cheaper. On top of that, you get the benefit of, if you wanted to file it yourself with the other party, you can do it by filling out your own paperwork because everything's agreed to. And so long as you can read and understand the paperwork, you guys can file it yourself. All the circuit courts in Florida have a department called self-help or something similar to that, where you can go get the forms yourself. Sometimes you have to pay for it, but you can get the forms. You can fill them out with the other party, and once you're ready, you can get it submitted. The Florida Supreme Court has also authorized what are considered standard family law forms that you can also go online and get for free. Now, it does depend on the circuit on whether or not you can file those standard Supreme Court family law forms by yourself or through self-help, or if you need an attorney. So Check your particular circuit, the clerk of court, and get more information on that. The third benefit to an uncontested divorce versus a contested divorce is the power of decision making. This seems a bit obvious, but I feel like much of this gets forgotten when parties decide whether or not they're going to work together or if they're going to operate the case in a contested manner. Florida, as you may know, especially if you've seen some of my previous videos, have its own set of rules and laws as it relates to equitable distribution, alimony, parenting issues, and child support. Doing your case in a contested manner without being able to agree at all will take you to trial, and the judge will decide these things based on the laws of Florida. Now, if you operate uncontested, you get to make those decisions with your partner, a soon-to-be former partner. That way, even though the law may say one thing, if that doesn't fit for you or your family, you always have the option to decide something else. Now, there are some exceptions to your ability to make decisions. For example, if you have children, you will have to prepare something called a parenting plan, and you may also have to address child support. Now, although you get to make decisions on these things, the court does have to find that those decisions are in the best interest of the child or children. But overall, you get to make those decisions versus a judge telling you what it's going to be. The fourth benefit to doing an uncontested divorce versus a contested divorce is the time frames. One of the main questions that I get from potential clients and clients alike is how long will the divorce take? And depending on whether the divorce is contested or uncontested, that answer varies. If a case is contested, the day it's filed is when the case starts. You would have to get what is called a summons. You'd have to get that summons to a process server or sheriff. You would have to have that person served. Then you have to wait 20 days minimum for a response. And if that person files a counter petition, the other person has 20 days to respond. If you're keeping up, we're already looking at approximately 40 or so days, and that's before you even got the case started. When a case is uncontested, you don't have to serve anybody. Normally, you would have the petition and the answer and waiver, as well as any settlement agreements or parenting plans already in place. And from the day you file those documents, I've had cases where you can get your case done and finalized within a week to a month after that. So you compare the uncontested case, which takes about potentially 40 days to even get to the discovery part, versus 30 or so days where the case is completed. The fifth benefit of an uncontested divorce is the impact it has on your life. As a divorce lawyer, I see it at different levels, but divorce is a heavy weight to go through. And not just yourself, but for those who have them, the children. One of the biggest things that I can emphasize and stress about going through a divorce in an uncontested manner is that it minimizes the stress and difficulty in the kids' lives. But it also should be noted that the parents benefit as well. Even if you don't have kids, just two people who are no longer together, it's such an easier process. You already have enough to go through dissolving a marriage. Why do we want to make the fight about the marriage? When parties are able to just come together, decide that they want to move on separate from the other and do so, it just has such a better impact in each person's life. I know it sounds a lot more philosophical than legal, but I've seen people go through this, not just as clients, but just colleagues, friends, family members, and just across the board. The ones who are able to work together to get divorced in an uncontested fashion are just far more happier. So those are 5 benefits to an uncontested divorce. If you enjoyed this video, or if you know someone who could benefit from seeing this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the page and hit the notification bell so that you can be updated whenever we post something new. My name is Marck Joseph. Thank you for watching.